Hey, hey, hey! Okay, so welcome back to Make.E's live podcast, and this is episode 4. If I can finally get this to go onto my YouTube channel, I'm really sorry you would have missed episode 2 and 3 because my phone doesn't have enough capacity to save it. But I had deleted virtually my whole life off of the phone, so episode 4 of the Make.E live podcast should be up on my YouTube channel after this. If not, hello and woohoo! Okay, I'm back off my holes. I've got a little bit of a tan. The sparkles are back. Ooh. The weather's freaking freezing, but you know what that means. Time to get our crochet hooks out and start making lovely, yummy, squishy things to pop round us and make us nice and warm. So I've got lots of things to talk to you about today. Hooray! I've got, it's not really a yarn review, it's more talking about using affordable yarns. Last time we talked about, not last time, the time before, we talked about luxury yarns. And I know that, luxury yarns can be stupidly expensive, especially for big projects. So we also want to look at affordable stuff. And then I've got, after affordable, we're going to have a look at, ready? Stitch of the week, stitch of the week. Everybody loves a stitch of the week. It's coming up. I've got a book here that I've been using quite a bit recently. And also I've got some hooks to show you that I just made, just for fun. They're not for sale, they're just for fun. And briefly touch on crochet off. So firstly, let's talk about yarn. Okay, so as the winter fast approaches, I teach 3 lessons a week. I also go to Hobbycraft on a Thursday, and we have a knit and natter group there from 10:30 to 12:30. And quite a lot of the people who are there are newbies or beginners, intermediates. For a long time whilst I was crocheting, right at the start, this basically my whole stash would be made up of DK acrylic yarns, and I have got a selection of it here. It's your staple go-to stuff when you're learning, and also actually your best friend when it comes to children because you can wash it, and it's excellent for blankets too. So I've just basically raided my stash to see what I've got knocking around, and to talk about how they differ, because really they're all 100% acrylic. You pretty much get the same amount of yardage, meterage per ball, but they do work up slightly differently. So to start with, we have got Hayfield Bonus DK. I've been using this quite a lot recently. I've been making quite a few of the Lottie and Albert blankets, rainbow blankets. Got babies, lots of babies have suddenly popped up all over the place. And her Lottie, the rainbow blanket, is a brilliant pattern. If you haven't made yours already, then you need to go and make it now. You need 6 balls of any DK to make it. I think on her pattern she suggested an acrylic that you can use, but you can use any DK. So I used the bonus extra value, mainly because it's machine washable up to 40 degrees and you can tumble dry it on cool. So it's perfect for babies. I'm going to stick it in the wash. I've enjoyed using it, though there is a big difference between this and, say, paint box. The bonus DK, I went on to Love Crochet to look at the prices for these. Bonus DK is £1.79 and comes in 64 shades. There's some of these are like slightly variegated, or sort of freckly. So this grey isn't completely matte. It's sort of got sort of lighter patches, darker patches. Paint box is better at giving you sort of block colours, and I would say just on the touch scrunchability, I would say that Paint Box is actually squishier and feels softer to touch, almost like it's got a bit of, what we're going to call it, softener in it. So, you know, fabric softener. This feels slightly more cardboardy. That makes sense. Paint Box comes in at £1.79, so it's the same. On Love Crochet, these are exactly the same price. And this comes in 60 shades. I really like the colours on Paint Box. I also do like the colours on the Hayfield. I've been using very pale pastel-y colours. I don't know what the darker colours come out like. But Paint Box yarns are good, especially their mustard. It's a really good mustard. I've used it quite a bit to make the girls' clothes because it's mustard. I love a bit of mustard. Oh, hello, Sarah. Ooh, grey. Ooh, grey. You can have that one if you like. So then we've got Signet, which when I was doing my pop-up shop, I used to stock Signet yarns. This is a really good staple. I am a bit partial to a Signet yarn. This comes in at £1.65, so it is slightly cheaper. It only comes in 50 shades, but their shades are more variated. So I think they've got like a mother of pearl, which has got like freckles in, and that kind of thing. This is closer to the Paint Box in terms of touch and feel. And looks very similar to when you sort of put them next to each other. They could easily be the same kind of yarn. Their colours are good, Signet. I know that Amber at Thread the Love likes their mustard as well version. This is like an aqua blue, and I've got quite a bit of this, so I'm going to use it for something, not sure what yet. And then you've got Stylecraft Double Knit Special. I also went on to Love Crochet to see how much this was. This is £1.85 a ball, and that comes in 74 shades. I used to use this a lot when I first started, actually, and there's a lot of things that I've got knocking around the house which are still going strong, having used this, and they've been washed and washed and washed and washed and washed and washed and washed. So in terms of durability, this is a great little one to get your hands on. But I must say, so far, out of all of these, the Paint Box has stood out for me. The girls' clothes have been made in Paint Box. I've got a cardigan that I made for Pearl, and that literally just gets thrown in the wash, thrown in the tumble dryer, dare I say it, and it comes out lovely. And it doesn't come out stiff. It hasn't shrunk. It hasn't done. I have actually washed things before that I've made, and they've sort of grown. I don't know, but not with the Paint Box. So if you are looking for making children's clothes, blankets, that kind of thing, picnic blankets are great for using DK. This is all acrylic. This is all 100% acrylic, this stuff. So they're all pretty much the same. But they're all great. And if you're learning to crochet, don't be scared to just buy bundles of this stuff. You will always use it. And don't feel like you're cheating by using it. I use a lot of acrylic all the time. I know that we talked about luxury yarns, and there are really expensive yarns out there that are great to use every now and again. But there's nothing wrong with a bit of acrylic. Nothing at all. It's great. And if you're that way inclined, it's also vegan. It's that DK Paint Box or Baby Soft Paint Box. This is DK, just normal DK. When I got this, the baby stuff hadn't come out yet. I'd like to try the baby stuff, but that's just normal. Anyway, that's enough about talking about just, hello Elaine! Just talking about acrylic yarns. They're all much of a muchness, but they're just great. They're great yarns. Go and grab armfuls of them and make. Go on and make. So that's, and another thing, because I put up the little thing that I was going to talk about affordable yarns and stuff. Sherry at Ollie and Bella sent me a message and said, have you got any, I haven't heard of these before, because these are just the ones that are in my stash. In fact, Sherry has just joined. Hello! I was just about to say that you sent me a message to say some other good ones to try are James C. Brett Top Value and Woolcraft New Fashion. Now, I haven't tried either of those, so I'm going to go and grab some of those and have a little go, because I do love a little bit of a yarn recommendation. Can't beat a yarn recommendation. Go and try that. So I'm going to get my hands on some of those and do some bits with those as well. But you're just in time, Cherie, because the next bit is very exciting. It is a stitch of the week, a stitch of the week. Everybody loves a stitch of the week. Two of my most favourite ladies on Instagram, as you all know, are Amber at Thread the Love and Lindsay at Lottie and Albert. Now, this is a rainbow blanket, Lindsay's rainbow blanket, using a slightly different hook size, but the idea is the same. If you haven't made one of Lindsay's rainbow blankets, you need to get yourself over, grab her pattern. You can also do blanket cushions and stuff. But the way she does this is how you do Stitch of the Week. So if you are thinking of doing it and thinking, oh, I'm new to crochet, I don't know, I'm going to show you the stitch so you can go over and grab your pattern and make it. It's also, I know that Amber at Thread the Love, she has a hat pattern that you need to go and make using this same technique. It's to make a ribbed effect. This, oh, hello. See this ribbed effect, which you can use on like, when I start cardigans, I usually make like a panel at the bottom or around cuffs, that kind of thing. So to get this stitch effect, this is what I'm going to show you today. I'm just going to do a swatch. I'm using some Rico Fashion jersey, so it's not splitty, so you can see what I'm doing. So I've just chained a small amount and I'm doing half trebles. I'm using my rose gold hook. I have got a load of rose gold hooks that have just arrived and I will be making some at some point eventually. Hello Germany! Or welly cuffs as well, yes. Sarah, who comes to my hobbycraft and also my crochet lessons, has been making welly cuffs and using exactly this technique. It's very, very, very simple and really, I can't think of the words, so I'm just going to do it. So half treble, so it's yarn over first before you go into your stitch. Now normally a normal stitch would be through both loops. Now when I teach crochet, I say that this little bit going across the top, the stitches, you have a top loop and a bottom loop, or a back loop and a front loop. I say that they look like little Pac-Men. And they have a top lip and a bottom lip. So you might be able to see them. If I hold it like that, can you see the Pac-Man? Okay. Holding your work towards you, the one that is closest to you is the front loop, and the one that's furthest away from you is the back loop, or bottom lip and top lip. So it's yarn over and through the loop that is furthest away, or the top lip. So you want to split your, hang on, can you see? Split your stitch in half. I'm going to go. So you go in between and go through that back one, just on its own, like that. And then it's yarn over, pull through, yarn over through all three. And I know a lot of you are probably crocheters and know this already. But for those who aren't, or for those who are just sort of feeling their way out there, this is a good one to learn. And again, yarn over, through the back loop, yarn over, pull through, so you've got 3 on your hook, yarn over, through all 3. I'm going to go to the end. Another way of adding texture to anything that you're doing, because it's all about the texture at the moment, I'm loving texture, is alternating between back loop and front loop. So I'm just doing all back loop here, which is going to give that kind of ribbed effect. But if you try it out, just have a little play. you can do back loop, and then in the next stitch just go through your front loop and go back loop, front loop, back loop, front loop, and see what you get. You get a really nice texture, and it kind of breaks up any lines, because crochet definitely shows up its rows. So now I've got to the end, you can kind of see it's popping out a bit there. It gives that kind of slight ribbed effect. And then again, I'll go back and do a back loop, half trebles across. So like I was saying, Amber at Thread the Love does a hat pattern using this stitch, and she gives the chain and everything that you need and how many rows you need to make and how to make it into a hat, and everything. She does a whole pattern, and I think it's available through her website. Anyway, tap up Amber at Thread the Love, and also Lottie and Albert. So if you fancy this, giving this a try, then go over, because Lindsay at Lottie and Albert, she puts together 6 balls of DK. I think she's got a free version on her blog, but she puts together 6 strands of DK to make a big ball, and then she's worked out how to use that ball to give you a really good sized blanket. So she'll give you your starting chain and everything. So go over to there. So yes, so basically this is how to get your sort of ribbed effect, just using the back loops. And that was a stitch of the week, stitch of the week. Everybody loves a stitch of the week. Woo! It wasn't very exciting as some of them are, but you know, it is a staple, and we need these in our lives. Talking of acrylics, that's a big leap back past. I just started a rainbow blanket and bought the colour block pattern ready to make me see. Yes, you need to make the rainbow blanket. And another thing is, because you can make them huge, so you can do like loads and loads and loads. They look really good big. So if you are thinking of making one, maybe make a really big one. Book review, or let's talk books. So say you have got a load of this in your stash. This is a really good book. I know that quite a few of you might have this in your stash, and if you don't, this seems to be something that most crocheters are given or find for themselves when they first start. And it's called 200 Crochet Blocks for Blankets, Throws and Afghans by Jan Eaton. I highly recommend it. It is just patterns all the way through of different blocks, how to make different squares. Each square in theory should come up the same size, and then you can make them into any blanket that you choose. So for example, it gives you ideas on blankets and which squares to use to put together. But it's great because it also teaches you how to make different stitches. So bobble stitch, which we can make a stitch of the week soon, yay! And lots of different textures. There's tapestry crochet, there's changing colours, there's Christmassy ones. See? And I do go back to this quite a lot, because it is just really good for inspiration if you're really struggling for ideas. This one. And you can just use your colour choices to make your blanket, or you can make lots of squares, or you can just keep going with a certain texture. So for example, there's a shell lace here. And there's no reason why you can't use this stitch to make a cardigan or a jumper or a huge blanket. You see, you can just dip in and out. It's great. I love it. And it was one of the first books that I bought. And I tried to make most of the squares in here. And it's funny because I found some of them recently and they're not great. My first attempts. But that's where we start, right? And I loved doing it. But I knew they weren't great, and I put them to one side and I kept them. And whenever I'm teaching, I say to people to keep the things that they made first, even if they hate it. Keep it. So that is a definite to buy list. If you don't have one of these, you can get this on Amazon. 200 crochet blocks for blankets, throws and afghans by Jan Eaton. Yay! Happy Halloween, everyone! What did you do for Halloween? I made crochet hooks for Halloween. We spent yesterday at Children's Hospital for Pearl. So, and everything's fine, by the way, don't worry. It's not a big deal. But we had to go to see her consultant. So we kind of missed Halloween, and I like Halloween. I like doing the pumpkins and getting the front of the house ready and scaring children half to death. But we didn't have time to do any of that, so I kind of felt like I was missing out. Before I went on holiday, I ordered some of these, which are Tunisian crochet hooks, because whilst we were at Hobbycraft, we were knitting and we were nattering, and we were talking about on Pinterest you can make wands, Harry Potter wands, using chopsticks, which are bamboo, right? And then we were like, yes, but you can also buy bamboo crochet hooks, but the normal size ones would be way too short. So then we said, yes, but you could probably get Tunisian bamboo hooks, and you can on eBay. So I bought a set for they weren't that much actually. I can't remember exactly how much, but they weren't that much for a full set. And then I pretty much tore them straight open as soon as we got back, and got my glue gun out and some beads and some acrylic paint and stuff, and then I made these. It's a wand hook. If you're a fan of Harry Potter, it is like, oh my god, they're so much fun to make. If you haven't heard of this idea, you need to get onto Pinterest and just type in, make your own Harry Potter wand. Just type that in, or how to make a Harry Potter wand, and it will come up with what you need to do. You just basically, all you really need is a glue gun, because you don't really need beads, because you can make your shapes using your glue and you just build it up. And you just need some acrylic paint. I've sealed mine with a spray. I don't really think they're going to be usable, because I think this might be a bit sticky, but I haven't tried yet, so you never know. So there's this one. See, glue gun's super handy. So there's that one, which I feel like is sort of Master of the Dark Arts kind of thing. Ooh. And we've got this one, which, see, hot glue gun. Hot glue guns are amazing. How did we survive? Look. It's a crochet hook. Come on. Who doesn't love that? I mean, these would make a good Christmas present, right? If you know somebody who loves crochet, you could make them a Harry Potter crochet wand, crochet hook. Super, super, super simple. Super simple. And then I bet you can get like a box. You could put it in. And then there's this one, which went a bit bonkers at the end. Though it looks kind of like roots, was the idea. Was it supposed to look like a... Anyway. I was just messing about, really. So I've made 3. 3 wand hooks. So yeah, have a go at making those. Quickly going to touch on the crochet off, which was, oh my god, how close was the crochet off? That was ridiculous. It was brilliant. And that was using up scraps, people's scraps of like Starcraft and paint box, both of those. So, you know, that takes us back to the acrylics and your basics and your standard stuff. Like, see, you can make pretty much anything. You could totally paint till halfway down and then sort of like blend it in, which I was kind of thinking of doing, but I got completely carried away and just thought, it's just for fun. maybe make some more. I've got loads. So the next crochet off is using baby cakes. I've got 2 ladies lined up, and I'll be sending these out hopefully today or tomorrow, depending on if I can pull my finger out my butt, to get to the post office. And I'll send these off, and then I'm going to give the ladies a couple of weeks to play with them. But they have 1 cake each, and they've got to make something with the cake to give us ideas. I'm going to get one for me. I'm not sure which colour. Which colour do you like? We've got this kind of like, it starts off like a browny grey beige, and it goes yellow, white, sort of very beige, and then back to sort of grey again. Then I've got this one that's a kind of peachy, then got cream, and it's sort of like a purple, very pale purple, peachy, and then cream. And then there's this one, which is sort of like a turquoise, yellow, cream, purple, turquoise. Don't know which one to keep. They feel lovely though. These are £8 each in Hobbycraft at the moment, which I think they're also 3 for 2. And they've got like some sort of examples of what you can make on them, but we're going to use just one. I don't know what we're going to make. The turquoise, I quite like the turquoise as well, but I need to think what I might make with it, and then that might help me choose my colour. But I've got to decide, because I've got to send the other 2 off, and I don't want to do that thing where you go, I know, I say that, I wish I could. Not, but, you know. Anyway, that's it. That is the end of the Make.E Live podcast. Thank you to everyone who has joined me today. I know that it's right in the middle of the day, and you are all... A cardigan, I can only use one. I can only use 1 baby cake. But you could, with like lots of them, you could make a cardigan, or a tiny baby cardigan. Possibly a baby cardigan. Possibly. I'll have a little think. So yes, I'm going to try and get this on YouTube. Please, fingers crossed, let me get this on YouTube. I've deleted pretty much everything off my phone to do it, so hopefully. Oh no, you missed me. Well, this is going to be live for 24 hours. So on Instagram, you can still tune in and watch this back from the beginning if you missed any parts of it and you want to watch it again. Otherwise, I'm going to try and get it on YouTube. And if I do, I'll put a like, hooray, I did it. And then you can just catch up there and subscribe if I manage to get it to do its thing. But thank you. I hope you enjoyed it. And thank you for taking time out to join me. And I'll see you next week. Bye-bye. Right, end.